We are going to be going over every single character currently in Marvel Rivals. It is January 14th, Season 1 just started, and I wanted to go through a rundown of all the characters, give my thoughts and feelings on them so far, kind of what I'm thinking. Obviously, it's like really early in the season to like make any real determinations, but kind of just from the games that I've been playing and from what I've been seeing online. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I think somebody in chat mentioned Iron Man, so let's go ahead and start with Iron Man. They said OP. I'm gonna have to agree. I think Iron Man is like super underrated, super underutilized. I think once people like realize how strong he is and like actually start playing him, I don't know why he's not more popular than he is. He's definitely, if not OP, at least in the meta for sure. I feel like he has a place 100%. Dude, I'm gonna, you know what? While we're at it, I think we have to put Doctor Strange up there. Doctor Strange is literally the most popular, the most played tank in the entire game. Like, it's not even close. I feel like you see him in every single game. I feel like no matter what, he always has some kind of value to add. Whether it's his shield, whether it's his really good ult, he just always like serves a function, serves a purpose in the game and kind of like holds stuff together. He's really strong, really good. I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Looks like Thomas mentioned Mr. Fantastic. Thomas is saying Mr. Fantastic is strong. Mr. Fantastic is a little bit tough to like rate because he's so new and he's just been added to the game. But hot take, not a real character. Like actually, Mr. Fantastic sucks. He's so weak. I feel like he doesn't do enough damage to justify taking the slot of a DPS character. He's not tanky enough to take the slot of a tank, and he kind of just like exists. Like his ult isn't that great. It's easily avoidable or just like blockable by a lot of the cast. I think he's really overrated. I think people like him and enjoy playing him. He's fun, he's goofy, whatever. But like genuinely, I don't think he's that good. I think he's super overrated. Honestly, could probably even use a buff. All right, so yeah, let's rate Jeff next. I think Jeff is one of those characters that really all he is a heal bot with a good ult. And the problem is that in Season 1, his ult got hard nerfed. I think pre-nerf Jeff, he's kind of mid-tier. It was actually really good. You could turn like the whole tide of the game with him. You just get like a 4 or 5 man ult and like all of a sudden you win, right? But his ult got nerfed so hard, it's really easy to react to dodge on a lot of characters now. And that's kind of his main thing that makes him strong, was his ult was so good. That I think it really bumps him down, unfortunately, for all the Jeff lovers out there. Jeff, literally, as I say that, Jeff in chat says, says unsubbing. No, I'm sorry. Wait. I take it back. Jeff is OP, meta-defining, the GOAT. No, actually, he goes in med. He goes in med tier for sure. He really doesn't, like, if I see him on my team, I'm like, fine, whatever. If I see him on the enemy team, I'm like, all right, not bad to deal with. Winter Soldier, yeah, we can do Winter Soldier next. I think Winter Soldier, gosh, I think he's hard carried by his ult. I think he's hard carried by the fact that his ult is insane. I think he has a high skill ceiling, so he's kind of hard to play. People that like play him don't always utilize him as well as they should. And I also think he has a hard time against like high damage ranged characters like maybe Hawkeye, Hela, that type, you know, that you can't really get close in on super safely. So I'm gonna put him in mid tier. I think honestly he just gets carried by his ult. If he like didn't have his ult, he would go lower, honestly. Straight up. Armed and dangerous, yeah, again. No. Gosh, I think already I've got some controversial takes here, but it is what it is. You know what? I just glanced over some more supports. Let's put some more supports up here. I'm gonna put Loki on Strawn. I don't think he's like overpowered or meta. I think he has his little niche, and I think certain parts of his kit are really strong and really overpowered. For example, like his immortality rune is crazy in the right circumstance. It's like just as good as some ultimates almost. Or at least like in terms of its effect if utilized properly. I think it's really good. I think he's definitely got some tricks up his sleeve, no pun intended. That was lame, I'm sorry. But anyways, yeah, I think he's pretty good. I think he belongs in Strawn for sure. And I think I'm gonna put Magneto up in Strawn as well. He's definitely outshined by some of the tanks, but still is pretty good, pretty useful. Definitely serves his own purpose. I think people use his ultimate like completely wrong 90% of the time in games, and I think the really good like one-trick Magneto players kind of bring him up to strong, but otherwise I honestly might even bring him down to mid-tier. I'm gonna leave him at strong though. I feel like the people that play Magneto really do well with him. Chat's mentioning Scarlet Witch. Yeah, we can do Scarlet Witch. Scarlet Witch. God, I'm so tempted to just drop her and not a real character. Like, legit, I think her ult is so useless 90% of the time. Like, she does not do anything in half the games she's in. If she's on my team, we're sad. If she's on the enemy team, we're happy. You know, like, you don't want to see her, like, in your comp ever, really. Sometimes she can pull off some sneaky cheese with an ult. Maybe she combines her ult with, like, a Doctor Strange portal, or comes around a corner with it, something like that, you know? But otherwise, that's really about it. Like, you're looking for cheese, you're looking for, you know, it's garbage. It's garbage. It's not a real character. Don't play her. Why is Iron Man in top tier, bro? Iron Man is so underrated. I think he belongs right here, where he's at. Oh, Moon Knight. Where do we put our boy? The Moon! No, in all seriousness, the patch for Season 1 gave our boy some love, okay? He really needed it. I think his ult was one of the things that was holding him back a lot in Season 0, to the point where it was one of the worst ults in the entire game, if not the worst. Literally, even squishy characters could just step to the side, and then they're fine, and he does nothing with his ult, right? That was holding him back a lot. I think his grapple is also just way too slow to be used in combat, to the point where, like, he could just get pushed, right? You get, like, a Psylocke or, like, another really aggressive DPS to charge him, and he's kind of cooked. Like, he has to play around Ankh cooldowns. He has to... His ult, thank God, is finally better to the point where it gets kills, especially if used well. But I think he's mid. I think he's mid. I think before this season, before he got buffed, he was meh. And now that his ult is actually, like, pretty useful in some scenarios, I think he gets bumped up to mid, honestly. I love him. I wish he was stronger, but I think that's where he belongs for now. Let's do Magik next. Magik. Where do we put Magik, guys? What are we thinking on Magik? I'm kind of torn. I think she... I think she's mid as well. I don't think she belongs in the top tiers. She's not OP or meta. Definitely not, in my opinion, at least. You could make an argument for her being strong, especially in certain scenarios and some games, but I think I'm going to put her mid for now. Who is this? Black Panther? Why does he look different on this tier? Anyways, Black Panther, honestly, I don't think he's that good. I think I'm putting Black Panther in May. I think Black Panther, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, got nerfed, didn't he? Yeah, he got nerfed, and I think the nerf actually affected him quite a bit. Some of the nerfs are like placebo nerfs, and some of the buffs are placebo buffs, to the point where, like, oh, like, they're saying they're changing the character, but didn't do that much. I think Black Panther's a case where the nerf actually hit him pretty hard. I think he's having a harder time one-shotting backlines like he needs to be good. But I think if he gets tweaked again, like, this could easily change. Like, he's a character that's very, like, numbers reliant, and if they change that, then he might not stay down here for that long, depending on future patch notes. You guys want me to talk about Venom? Venom benefited from buffs, if I remember correctly. I think the Venom buffs, that's another buff that, like, actually mattered. Which, honestly, I didn't think it would. I was thinking, like, Venom was going to be stuck in mid-tier forever, kind of just, like, low elo hell, you know? Low ranks permanently, it would just be useless. I think he now actually is either, like, top of mid-tier or, like, bottom of strong tier. I think there are other tanks that outshine him and do what he does better. Like, the diving aspect of him has more potential now, and especially if he's teamed up. Here's the thing. Okay, Venom is strong if you're playing with, like, Spider-Man or Penny or whatever. If he's on his own, why not just pick a better tank, you know? Like, there's just so many really good better tanks. Speaking of better tanks, Hulk, OP, meta. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say. If you're silver, gold, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. Don't pay attention to my rank. It doesn't matter. No. Yo, what's up, Dylan? You disagree, bro? I think it's pretty solid so far, honestly. No, I think Hulk is really good. I think the Hulk Iron Man combo is kind of crazy and it's super underrated. I'm surprised like more people aren't taking advantage of it. I think it's mainly just because Iron Man is underrated. I still see Hulk like pretty frequently, but really good Hulk players are terrifying. Like they are a force to be reckoned with, and yeah, I'm not thrilled to see an enemy Hulk like putting in the work, honestly. Hela. Hela's a character that everybody like constantly says is OP in meta, but I don't quite see it. I'm gonna put her at the top of Strawn for now. I think this is where she belongs. I believe they nerfed her health by a little bit, like 25 points or something. I don't think that really matters on her. I don't think that changed a lot. Like she's still good, she's still strong. I just don't think she's like as crazy pick or ban overpowered as people say she is. And now that we're talking about Hela, I think somebody that falls kind of similar to where she's at is Hawkeye. I think Hawkeye, the problem with Hawkeye is the nerfs actually did hit him. Like, he is not as crazy as he was in Season 0. I don't think he is, like, good no matter what anymore. I think, like, you really have to, I don't know. He's not, like, blatantly good no matter what like he used to be, right? He's still strong. He still has like a position on a team for sure. He can put in work. Absolutely. I'm not saying he can't, but I don't think he's OP meta like he was last season. Okay, Squirrel Girl was one of those characters when I was thinking about this list, I genuinely wasn't 100% sure where to put her. I think personally, this might be another hot take that like chat you can disagree with me on. I'm actually really curious to see what you guys think and what other players are thinking. I think she's pretty strong. I think Squirrel Girl is underrated. I think her ult buff is a lot better for her team fighting and like for key moments in fights. I don't think she's OP or meta at all, and I don't even think she's like super strong. So I'm putting her at the bottom of strong. But I think she has a niche. I think she definitely has a niche. She has a use, and she can be used pretty well. Captain America, I got you boys. Captain America. I think Captain America is such a like do nothing character. Like yeah, he's super hard to kill. Like sure, he is a tank as tanky as tanks get, really. Like with his mobility, his tankiness, his abilities to block, like he doesn't die. But also, who cares? Like honestly, who cares? He doesn't do anything like some of the other tanks do. Like he doesn't have Doctor Strange's, block like the way that he can cover for his team. He doesn't have the big massive ult that you really need to watch out for. He doesn't have like Hulk's potential. He's just kind of there. So I think Captain America goes really like down low and meh, honestly, like maybe above Black Panther, I guess. No, honestly, no, but below Black Panther, honestly. Yeah, he belongs down here. Sorry, Cap, you're just not that guy. Somebody that is that guy, or that girl, I guess, Luna. Let's face it, one of the craziest ults in the game, just makes it so that nobody can die. It's like, you have to play around it. Like, you don't have a choice. When you're playing against Luna, you are playing her game. Like, you're no longer playing Marvel Rivals on your own or with your team. You're playing her version of the game based around her rules. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm almost surprised that she's not in, like, almost every game she's played. I'm honestly even going to put her above Hulk. I don't know if I'm going to put her above Doctor Strange. I think I'll leave her where she's at now. I kind of like where she's at now. I think this is pretty good. Yeah, let's leave her there. I think she belongs there. I don't even think that's very controversial. I think pretty much everybody knows, it is what it is. We can do Spider-Man. I think, yeah, since we already have Venom and we kind of mentioned how, like, honestly, okay, here's the thing, chat. Yes, Spider-Man combos are scary. Yes, if you're like a squishy or a support in the backline and a Spider-Man is pushing you, you're gonna poop your pants. Guaranteed, you're gonna smell bad. But nobody knows how to play him. I swear to God. Every time I see a Spider-Man in a game, it's either a one-trick or the most garbage player you have ever seen in your life. Like, guaranteed. I promise. I think he's a lot better with if you have a Venom on the team. It gives him that extra burst that actually lets him one-shot some characters that he wouldn't be able to one-shot otherwise. But yeah, he's hard carried by one-tricks that only play Spider-Man and really know how to play him well, and everybody else is terrible at him. So even though, like, I don't think he's that bad of a character, like, I think it's the people that play him are bad. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. Okay, I see people in chat asking for Namor. So I got you guys with the Namor pick later. Yeah, we can do Groot after Namor. Groot is an interesting one too. You know, for Namor, I'm kind of torn. Did he get changed in the patch notes at all? Did he get a buff? I think he did. He did get a buff. Okay, so they made his spawns more accurate. Now that I'm reading that, I think it's noticeable in game, because I remember like people would almost just ignore his little spawns and like it didn't matter. Now you really can't ignore them. I don't think he's like crazy or anything though. I would put him, nah, I think he's just low rank terrorizer. Like if you just get rid of his spawns, him on his own is not really scary. Like maybe even on meh. I'm gonna put him on meh. Yeah, I don't think he's that like. I never see a Namor on the enemy team and think, oh my god, we're gonna lose. Like this is crazy bad. You know, like oh my god, he's gonna carry. Like it never happens. Let's go to Groot next. Groot, dude, I think Groot is so underrated, and I think people haven't unlocked his full potential. I think people legitimately don't know how to play with Groot. Like I don't think he's been fully figured out yet. I think he does a lot of damage for a tank if you set up his walls properly. His ult is insane. I don't know. OP meta might be a little bit too generous. I don't know if I'd call him OP or meta. I'm gonna put him at the top of strong. I'm gonna put him at the top of strong, even ahead of Hela. I'm hesitant to put him all the way up here because I don't think he's like crazy. I just think he has a lot of potential, and he hasn't been like fully fleshed out yet, fully figured out yet. Does that make sense? All right. Somebody that has definitely been figured out is Penny. Penny is not complicated. She's kind of similar to Namor if like she doesn't have her nest or whatever it's called. Like you take that out, and then like so what? I think her CC is kind of crazy. The cooldown on it is insanely low. Super underutilized. If people time it well, she's super annoying to play against, but there are better tanks, like a lot of other better tanks, and once you play around her and you actually like get rid of her strengths, like she's just becomes like a meh, like, you know, so what kind of thing. Thor's not bad. I think Thor's not bad. I would put him probably at the top of mid tier. I don't think he's like super strong, but he's not weak either. You shouldn't underestimate him. You shouldn't ignore him by any means, but he's not like a super big threat in my opinion. Punisher's bad, honestly. I'm just gonna say it. Punisher's not that great. The problem with Punisher is very similar to Bucky, so I'm gonna put them together, and let me explain. Here's why. Punisher and Bucky both have a really hard time against high damaged ranged characters. They have the Hela Hawkeye problem, where like if the enemy team has a Hela and a Hawkeye, you are gonna have a bad time. like straight up. Punisher has a really hard time playing into those characters, and those characters are really popular and really strong. So that alone like brings them down a lot, honestly. Yeah, of course, like Punisher has situations where like he can get really good positioning, and I've seen a lot of like really cool movement tricks with him where you can deal a ton of damage. Definitely has a place. That's why I don't think he belongs down in meh. I think like him and Bucky they're really good solid mid tiers. They're not bad, but they have some bad matchups that really like bring them down. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't think he's anything crazy. OMG, thank you for putting Squirrel Girl in strong. So many people say she's bad and I main her. I think her ult sucked before they buffed it. Now that it follows like the nearest enemy character, it's a lot better. It's a lot more useful, because a lot of times, sometimes like she would ult and like it would do literally nothing. I think she's I mean, this might be a hot take. Not everybody agrees with me. I don't think she's bad. Genuinely, I don't think Squirrel Girl is bad. Rocket next. Yeah, we can talk about Rocket. Rocket. Dude, I like Rocket, and I don't mind having him on my team. I think Rocket's problem is he's one of the few supports in the game where you could tell the developers looked at his ultimate and were like, you know what? Let's make his ultimate different from the other like healers, right? Like, yeah, his regular abilities make him a heal bot, and he's fine in that regard. He does his job. But his ultimate feels like it feels like the developers just didn't give it quite enough love. Because if you compare it to like Luna Ultimate or like Mantis Ultimate or stuff like that, you know, like they're all just better than Rocket Raccoon's Ultimate. Unfortunately, I kind of wish that wasn't the case because it'd be cool to have more like variability. I think like Rocket is an interesting character. He's cool. I just don't think he's that good. I'm gonna put him like here. I'm gonna put him there. He's not bad, don't get me wrong. It's just, I would rather have a Luna ult. I would rather have a Mantis ult. I'd rather have, you know, Cloak and Dagger with all of their options. Speaking of Mantis, since we're on the topic of supports, her nerf hit her kind of hard. I think she is kind of like in between Luna and Rocket in terms of like how good her ult is, right? If you CC her, like she can die in her ultimate. Let's put it that way, right? Luna, she ults, like she's not gonna die. Nobody's gonna die. Like it's ridiculous. Mantis can die in her ult, straight up. Like it's not even that hard to kill her. Like it can happen. It's still really strong. It's still really good. That's why I'm gonna put her in strong, but it's not like overpowered or anything, right? Invisible Woman. I'm saying it right now, OP. I think people haven't unlocked her full potential. I think she's one of those characters kind of like Groot, where people don't play her as well as she can be played yet, but she's even stronger and she just has so many options. Like if you look at her ability rundown, right? On average, her abilities are just better. They're just better. Like she's her. She's her. They're just better. Even her double jump, like compare it, okay, like Moon Knight double jump. Oh, wow, you double jumped, great. With her, she can also go invisible with it. So it's like, it just works well together. Great heals, great support, like annoying to like pin down. Yeah, just strong overall. Let's switch a little bit to DPS. Psylocke, I think, did Psylocke get affected by the recent patch? She did get nerfed, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think what happened was with Psylocke was that she straight up used to like ignore shields with her ultimate. And now that is not the case. So her ultimate, which was kind of nuts before, really brought down a notch. I still think she's really strong. I'm gonna actually put her above Squirrel Girl. And I almost am tempted to put her above. Yeah, I'm gonna put her like here actually. Yeah, I think she's still has a place. She's still very strong, but that nerf did hit her quite a bit. Her ult was kind of crazy before. Now, on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, Storm got buffed, and she's actually playable now. I think Storm was like washed before, like didn't have a place before, and definitely does now. Honest, as simple as that. I think I'm gonna put her like top of mid tier. You know, before Season 0, I think she was meh, like almost like bottom of meh maybe, and now she definitely serves a purpose. She definitely can dish out some damage and has her place for sure. Y'all just don't know how to use Mr. Fantastic on God. He has more damage than tanks and more beefy than any DPS. Okay, well, yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. He's like, Mr. Fantastic is like the mix of both worlds. You know, jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, he can be tanky. Yeah, he can deal some damage, but I would rather just have a character on my team that deals major damage or is majorly tanky and like has good CC, blah, 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 blah. Like he doesn't cut it. He doesn't make the cut, honestly. You know who else doesn't make the cut? Not a character. Not a real character. Actually not a real character. Black Widow, if you pick Black Widow and you like are playing with your friends need to block you. You straight up don't want to win. You have no interest in winning, and that's fine. But like you also don't want to have fun, which is crazy. So you're trolling if you pick Black Widow. Like I genuinely don't think I've seen her once in the last like 50 games I've played. And I think everybody knows why. This is where she belongs. I don't even think that's controversial. Something that might be controversial is Iron Fist. I don't think Iron Fist... Okay, I didn't mean to put him in not a real character. Excuse me, he's not that bad. I think Iron Fist is like somewhere around here. Like, okay, hear me out. I can already hear all the support mains, you know, crying about, oh my god, this Iron Fist doesn't leave me alone. He chases me across half the map, blah, 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 blah. Genuinely, if you just coordinate and take him down, he's not that big of a problem. Like, he is not such a big issue that, like, he deserves to be a high tier. Like, he's just not. He's not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I said what I said. You know what? I'm not even sorry. I said what I said, and I'm owning it. This is my opinion. You know? Genuinely, I think Spider-Man is better than Iron Fist, but the problem is that Iron Fist players, on average, I think, are better than Spider-Man players. That alone, you know, brings Spider-Man down. It's like, the people that pick him up and try to play him without knowing how to, like, it's just stanky. It's just stanky. It's terrible. It's terrible. I think Wolverine is kind of in the same ballpark where, like, he kind of has that Spider-Man issue where, like, people that play him, and everyone else is terrible at him, and he's not that big of a problem. I think he's, like, probably better than Iron Fist, in my opinion, honestly. Is he better than Penny? I think he is better than Penny. Yeah, I think he still belongs in meh, but maybe at the top of meh. You know, I could be even convinced that he's like top of mid tier. He's not terrible. He's not terrible. Adam Warlock, man. Adam Warlock is just not a great support in my opinion overall. Yes, he has some burst healing, but overall I would so much rather have like almost any other support straight up. I think he's better than Jeff, but I'm not thrilled to see an Adam Warlock on my team, honestly. I feel like people don't utilize his ultimate properly 90% of the time. And yeah, he's got some burst healing, like I said, but overall, like in the long run, in the average of a game, other supports do it better, straight up. Such as Cloak and Dagger. Holy crap. You already know she's going up there. You already know. If you say otherwise, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry. Cloak and Dagger has so many options. Literally, like, everything they do is just solid all around. Great support, really strong. Basically, the opposite of Adam Warlock in terms of consistency, right? I think when you look at like how prevalent a character is in the meta, you kind of have to look at how consistent they are. And Cloak and Dagger has that on lock. Done. Next. All right, last character. I didn't obviously like whatchamacallit, The Thing and the Human Torch are not in the game yet, so we can't really talk about them yet. I know they will be added, but we don't really know enough about them. I haven't seen them in game, blah, 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 blah. We are going to skip over those, but Star-Lord. Man, oh man, Star-Lord. I can already see angry comments telling me that I'm just bad or that he's overrated, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not. A good Star-Lord is a menace to society. Actually needs to go to prison for life. Period. Damage, crazy. Mobility, crazy. Survivability, insane. Ultimate, broken. How are you going to tell me he's not good? How are you going to tell me he's not good? You can't. You can't tell me he's not good because he's OP and meta. I don't know exactly where I would put him. I feel like Iron Man probably shouldn't even be top of the tier. I'm gonna put it like Doctor Strange first, I think. Maybe Iron Man like third. Something like this. Honestly, gosh, I think Iron Man is a little bit more matchup dependent though. And the other thing about Iron Man is that he's one of those characters that really benefits from the team ups, right? So him and Hulk together are really strong compared to like on their own, right? So I'm gonna bring them down a little bit. Star-Lord, I think, is so underrated. I think once people figure out Star-Lord and realize how cracked he is, he's going to be a problem. Like, he's actually insane. Straight up. I might even put him above, like, Iron Man and Hulk. I think he's up here somewhere. Star-Lord is meta? Okay, thank you, BG. See, BG knows what he's talking about. BG knows. BG knows. Storm with a new buff makes her almost the best hero right now? That's crazy. I don't think she's almost the best. I agree that the buff, like, really helped her. I think we need more time to definitively say where she belongs. I don't know. Meta for her, really? She got buffed a lot. For Bugie, I'm putting her up here because I could see the argument. Honestly, I could see that. I could see her being strong, definitely. Just the fact that just looking at her buffs, right, in the patch notes, dude, they buffed like 5 things on her. Like, she has to be somewhat good, right? Like, she can't be useless if you buff her 5 times. That would be crazy. I haven't played against her that much. To be fair, I've only played against her in like 2 or 3 games so far this season. Like I said, it's really early in the season. I think people are still figuring stuff out. People are trying to see where these characters land with the buffs and the nerfs. There's still like things to be figured out for sure, especially with the new characters too. I could see the argument that she's strong, and I could agree with that. But I think there's still some room for debate there, honestly. Punisher better than Bucky, Jeff better than Warlock. Dude, Bucky ult goes hard though. Bucky ult is crazy. Like honestly, maybe in general Punisher is better, but he has like the lowest win rate in the game, straight up. And like Bucky ult is insane. A good Bucky ult can just demolish a team like crazy. Like, it's disgusting. So does Punisher. Nah, man, I think Punisher is a lot easier to deal with. Like, his ult is a lot easier to deal with. You can play around it a lot more than you can play around Bucky's ult. You know? I disagree. I'm gonna keep that one there. But I think this is a pretty solid tier list. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? What am I missing, if anything? I think overall this is a pretty solid list. This is pretty solid. In my humble opinion, I don't think I like really messed up anybody super badly, but let me know if you disagree. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button, hit the bell. I'd really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And join the Discord. It's a really awesome, wholesome community. We play with viewers all the time. Everybody's really nice. It's the first link that's in the channel bio, so you should totally check it out if you haven't already. I also stream on Twitch under the same name, Zillum, Zillum. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video.